Welcome back, everybody, to the Crazy Sasquatch NFL 2021 picks. We're in week 6 already of the NFL season, people. Going fast. Some injury bugs hit a few people this week. A couple upsets. Some close games. A lot of close games in overtime. So, as far as Brett and I was 14-2 last week. He was 13-3. The difference was I chose the Bears to win. He didn't.
I thought we had like 5 difference.
No.
5 different chooses.
Nope, 14-2, 13-3. So it puts us in the overall season. I'm at 55-25. He's at 51-29. So just a few games difference through 5 weeks. Not bad. This is the first week with some bye weeks. So be prepared to take your fantasy league starters out, guys, for Falcons, Saints, Jets, and 49ers. I'll remind you at the end again, but make sure they're out of your fantasy league startup or you won't have 0 points. So, week 6. Shall we get going? Bucks at Eagles. Brady's got a hurt thumb, I think. He's going to play the way it sounds. I don't think the Eagles got enough firepower to stop the Bucks offense or hang with it. I mean, Hurts is looking good. But Bucks defense is good. Is good. So I am taking the Bucks on this one.
Hurts for the Eagles. This year he's either been good or bad through tons of touchdowns or tons of interceptions. Bucks have been consistently good. Eagles, they can either be good or bad, but I'm sticking with the consistency other than the unpredictability.
Dolphins at Jaguars. Dolphins will still be without Tua for a little while yet. Jaguars are hanging in some of these games. They're making games out of it. Trevor Lawrence, I think, is starting to learn the speed of the NFL game a little bit. Big prediction here. Trevor Lawrence's first NFL win. That is my prediction here, folks.
Dolphins at Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence has more interceptions than he does touchdowns. And like a former first-round pick like Kyle Murray, that's bad. Every rookie quarterback this year I think has more interceptions than touchdowns, but for a first overall quarterback, that isn't a good sign for the future. Dolphins losing Tua multiple weeks back. It's going to be a close game. Jaguars are like the Vikings in some ways. Or like the Lions in some ways. They aren't the Jaguars 0-5. Well, they're like the Lions. They can't win a game, but they're very close at winning every single game. And I think it's going to stay that way. Dolphins win.
Bengals at the Lions. Bengals, they gave the Packers all they could handle in overtime last week, and neither kicker wanted to win the game. Finally, Crosby decided to hit a kick and beat the Bengals, but Bengals looked pretty decent. Lions, for a couple weeks, they were just barely missing winning games. I mean, just a little bit of play here and there, but I think the Bengals' defense and running game is just going to be a little too much for the Lions, even at home. I think the Bengals make a comeback here and beat the Lions again.
Speaking of the Lions up here, the Lions matchup down here. Bengals lost to another NFC North team. The Packers, after multiple missed field goals, they could have won it if their kicker made a field goal. But Lions, at Lions, I think Lions are going to do the same thing. They're still going to fight a very close game, but I just think Bengals have more talent, and after losing against Chicago, I think they won 2 straight, and I think they're going to continue their win streak after their loss.
Kansas City at Washington. Kansas City did not look good against the Bills, but the Bills are the Bills. Washington's not the Bills. Washington does have a good, front line defense. Looks like Edward Hilaire is going to be out for the Kansas City for a week or two. So they're missing a number 1 running back, but Kansas City's still got a couple decent running backs. Still got their wide receiver core. Still got Kelsey. Biggest, they still got Mahomes. I don't think Washington has the offense to keep up like the Bills did. Kansas City gets back on track with a must-win game for them to, make the playoffs.
Kansas City last in the division. I wouldn't have thought of that. Last in the division, 2-3 against Washington, which Washington has a very good defense. Not as good as the Bills. Comparing Washington's offense to the Bills, not nearly as good as the Bills. Kansas City lost to the Bills, and I think the Bills scored double what they scored. I may be wrong about that. Picked off Patrick Mahomes 2 times. Patrick Mahomes didn't have a good week last week, but I think they'll win this one, go 3-3. Washington does not have nearly the offense to compete, even though Kansas City is lacking deeply in defense.
Texans at the Colts. The Colts got embarrassed last night in Monday Night Football. Ravens were down 26-3, 26-6, something like that. The Ravens came back in the fourth quarter and beat them in overtime. I mean, come on, Colts. I mean, they let that one slip through. I think they took their foot off the gas pedal or something. I didn't see the last couple quarters, but Texans, Mills is actually looking pretty good for the Texans. They got some running backs there. Okay defense. Colts got a pretty good running game. Jonathan Taylor looked really good. I think it's a must-win for the Colts. They let last week slip through the hand. If that deflated them, they're going to lose this one. Because Mills isn't doing that bad for the Texans as a rookie. But I think Colts going to learn a little bit from that game. It's hard for me to pick the Colts after what happened last week, but I'm still giving them the win.
Texans at Colts. Texans looking good with Mills, even though they don't have a Deshaun Watson. Still looking very good at QB position. Colts lost. Their kicker didn't want to complete a field goal last second. Changing to overtime, Ravens get the ball, touchdown. So Colts lost over a missed field goal, just like the Bengals. Texans are doing better than I expected this year. Colts, a little less than I expected this year, but I'm going to give it to the Colts. I just think they're a better overall team. And I just think they'll win this at home.
Rams at Ravens. Here's your Ravens again. Came back from fourth quarter a lot yesterday. Scored a bunch of points. I don't think you can do that against the Rams. I mean, if they're down, they're not going to make that kind of comeback against that Rams defense. And, I think Aaron Donald's going to be chasing Lamar Jackson all over the place. You got the secondary that's really good. I just can't see the Ravens. With the way they came out against the Colts, yeah, they pulled it off and won. They're going to be on a high. But I just can't see... I can't see the Rams giving up those kind of points. I'm going with the Rams on this one.
Rams at Ravens. Rams, Matthew Stafford's still proving to the league that he can still be a very good player, proving that the Lions aren't going to hold him back from a great career. Him and Cooper Kupp have been making great chemistry in that offense. Ravens winning off a missed field goal by the Colts in overtime. Ravens, Lamar Jackson, I think I saw a clip of him dodging multiple tackles. But with the Rams defense, I don't think that's going to happen much. Matthew Stafford, I predict, is going to have a lot of touchdowns.
All right, the big game of the week. Green Bay and the Bears. Bears beat the Bengals. Green Bay barely beat them in overtime. Yeah, Bears beat them, right? Yeah.
Picked off Burrow, I think, 3 times.
Yeah. Justin Fields, they got to let him pass a little bit here and there. He can run. I mean, last week, Raiders gave him everything he could handle with knocking him around here and there. Green Bay's not impressed me a whole lot yet this year. They are winning. What worries me about this game is I think the Bears secondary, they're allowing some deep passes here and there. Rodgers could pick them apart if they don't get their act together in the secondary. But Green Bay has to defend Fields, the running game. And to me, what I've seen this year is Green Bay defense is not defending the running game. So I'm going to pull an upset on this one. I think probably Green Bay has the points out there. Vegas, whoever's betting on I would say the points is for the Packers to win. But I'm picking upset. I'm going to the Bears. I think right now their defense is playing as well as anybody, and I think Fields throws that dimension in where you got a running quarterback where you got the defense run for Green Bay all over the place. So if the play calling's good, I see Bears pulling this one off.
And this game is probably the most in-depth I'm going to explain out of all these games. But Green Bay at Bears. Bears secondary stepped up. Didn't allow Derek Carr to pass for a touchdown, even when Akeem Hicks wasn't playing. I think he's playing this week. He wasn't on the injured list. Justin Fields won his first away game. Bears won their first away game in the whole season. Bears are undefeated at home. And another home game. Packers, Aaron Rodgers under pressure against the Bengals defensive line. He threw some inaccurate passes, overthrew people like he's been doing all each season. He's been overthrowing his receivers under a little pressure. Bengals have a good pass rush. Made Aaron Rodgers not have the greatest day. Threw an interception, 2 touchdowns. Against the Bears, the number 1 sack leader in the league, with Akeem Hicks back. Their run game isn't going to do anything. Maybe A.J. Dillon gets a few yards or maybe a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's going to step up against the Bears' pass rush. Robert Quinn stepping up. I think he has more sacks than Khalil Mack this year. But I don't think Aaron Rodgers can handle the Bears' rush or defensive line. I think he will have a couple deep bombs, but I think the Bears are going to keep their streak alive against the Green Bay Packers and beat them at home.
Got a mistake here. Shit. Rams and Ravens. Who get your phone? I gotta figure out who plays the Giants. Sorry guys, I got a misprint on the board. We're gonna pause this a minute to make sure we get this thing correct. Alright people, we're back. We found out the error. I had the Rams written down twice. It was actually the LA Chargers, not the LA Rams. Sorry guys. My miscue. So we erased the Rams, but in the Chargers erased our check marks. So we'll go over the Ravens-Chargers game. I'm still calling the same outcome. I think Ravens are going to get beat. Chargers got a good defense also. Herbert's playing really well. All kinds of weapons. I'm going with Chargers over Ravens.
I'm just going to recap quickly. So Ravens lost and won last second because missed field goal by the Colts. Chargers still looking very impressive. Herbert way better than I expected. Chargers win. Herbert's is looking super good this year.
All right. Back to the Rams and Giants game. Sorry, people, for that. Rams and Giants. Rams defense, offense. There's no way Giants going to keep up. Barkley's probably out with a sore ankle. So I'm going Rams. Definitely with this one.
Giants losing to the Cowboys 44-20. Rams always looking good week to week. Like I said up there, Matthew Stafford's going to prove that he's still worth the title of one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Rams win against the Giants. Vikings at Panthers. I think Vikings lost last week, right?
No, they won by field goal at the end.
Oh yeah, against the Lions. So Vikings versus Panthers. At Panthers. Panthers, I think, lost last week. Vikings, they always stick in the games. Cook is questionable again. Panthers, Darnold. I don't know why. I thought that name was wrong, but at Panthers, I think Panthers are going to win. Vikings stick in the games, but I Actually, I'm going to go with probably an upset. Vikings. I think they're going to pull off this one.
All right, Vikings and Panthers. Vikings, I don't know if Cook's going to be 100% or play. Panthers, I don't know if McCaffrey's up to playing yet. So, two of the top tier running backs could be in or out of this game. I don't know that as of Tuesday here. Panthers got a pretty good passing game with Darnold and who they have right now. Vikings, with their passing game, you got Jefferson, Thielen, really good passing game. I think the key to this game is going to be the Panthers defense. I think they have a better defense. I mean, the Vikings barely pulled it off against the Lions. Panthers are, to me, is a better team. At home, I'm going Panthers.
Cardinals at Browns. Browns losing to the Chargers. Cardinals staying undefeated. Browns are going to give them a fight, though. But I don't think it's going to be enough. Cardinals just have too many weapons. Browns defense may be slightly better, but I think the offensive compared to each other, I think Cardinals are better. Maybe not in the running game, but wide receiving core and quarterback, definitely.
All right, Raiders and Broncos. Raiders just lost their head coach.
You haven't done this one.
Oh, Browns, sorry. Cardinals and Browns. Mayfield, Beckham starting to come back. Browns got a two-headed running attack. Cardinals are unbeaten. They 49ers gave about all they could handle last week. 49ers defense versus Browns defense. I think Browns got just as well of a defense. 49ers had a rookie quarterback going for them last week. Browns got a veteran quarterback in Mayfield along with a running game. Cardinals got a good running game. Passing game's going. My gut feeling says upset here. I think that running game of the Browns is going to slow down the game, where the passing game for the Cardinals might slow down.
I see you're favoring the home teams. Raiders at Broncos. Raiders losing their head coach and getting, I think they called it blown out 20-9 against the Bears. At Broncos, Broncos has a stacked cornerback position. Their offense, Bridgewater's back in, but he threw an interception, I think, ending the game last week. Raiders with a new head coach. With the talent on their team, I think they can still pull this one off.
Raiders and Broncos, I mean, yeah, they got a little controversy in the locker room, but Gruden is out there as of Monday, so they got all week to learn the new head coach. I think he's offensive coordinator, I believe. Carr looked okay. They hit some deep passes. Waller didn't do a whole lot. Running game was trying to get going. Broncos, you got two running backs that are good. Bridgewater, he came off of a concussion 2 weeks ago. He can throw. Can the Broncos keep up with the Raiders? I think they can. Yeah, they got a couple wide receivers down, but who they got left? I think Bridgewater's making it work. This is going to be a close one. I just think with Raiders losing their head coach right now and kind of a little bit of a transfer of power, I could see another upset happening here. Being Broncos at home, Mile High Stadium, I just see him pulling this one off.
I'm sticking with the away team. You're sticking with the home teams. Cowboys at Patriots. Patriots sticking in every game. Cowboys is a very good team overall. Dak Prescott is returning very good in the season. I'm sticking with my away teams and going with the Cowboys.
All right, Cowboys, Patriots. Dak's looking good. Running game's there. Wide receivers are there. Cowboys defense is actually looking better than what anybody expected. Patriots, Mac Jones, rookie quarterback, is still not really unleashing him yet to throw a lot of, downfield bombs. They got a couple good tight ends. I believe they just lost their Damian Harris. I think their running back. I think he may miss this game. So, Patriots got a heck of a defense, though, but without an offense that really to compete with the Cowboys' offense, I think Cowboys pull this one off.
You're not keeping the home team streak alive.
Not that one.
Seahawks at Steelers. Ben Roethlisberger isn't looking his best. He's just been on a decline this season. Seahawks losing Russell Wilson for about a month. That hurts my fantasy team because he's my starter. Seahawks at Steelers. Russell Wilson was in. I was choose Seahawks, but I'm switching with the home team. Steelers.
Seahawks, like I said, lost Russell Wilson. Don't know if Chris Carson's come back yet this week. And they got a couple good wide receivers. Their backup quarterback came in, actually did pretty well. Defensively, they're okay. Steelers got a pretty good defense. From what I heard, they lost Juju Smith-Schuster for the rest of the year with a banged-up shoulder. So they're down a wide receiver. It's going to hurt a little bit. They're going to be relying more on a couple guys and possibly the running game. I think Steelers are going to do just enough. I'm going back to the home teams because Brett jumped sides on me here. I'm going with the Steelers.
Bills at Titans. Titans have looked way less impressive than I would have thought this year. Losing to teams they shouldn't. Bills, if they didn't lose to Pittsburgh week 1, they would have blown out every single team they came across, including the Chiefs. I think it would be this way again. I'm going with the away team. I just think the Titans, the way they're doing stuff this year, way less impressive than I think. Bills, how they're doing stuff, way more impressive than I would have thought.
Bills' defense is looking good. Their offense is clicking. Titans, not so much. They're, two really good wide receivers have been banged up. The Bills got to stop Derrick Henry, but you stop Henry, which I believe they can. Their passing attack just not been there for the Titans yet. They don't have the offense right. They probably have the offensive players to keep up. But what they've shown so far, they can't keep up with the Bills' offense. And I don't think the defense is as good as the Bills either. So I'm going with the Bills on this one. On Monday Night Football. So remember, guys, we got 4 teams on byes. Atlanta Falcons, New Orleans Saints, New York Jets, San Francisco 49ers, all on bye weeks. Make sure you get those guys out of your starting lineups for Fantasy League. So this is for week 6. Want to add anything before we sign off? This is Doug Crazy Sasquatch for week 6 prediction and picks. Good luck on your fantasy leagues. Good luck on pick 'em. We'll see you week 7.